新年快乐! Happy Lunar New Year! I hope that everybody is having a good end of January and start of February. Today I have my February planned with me and I'm really excited to do it. It is inspired by Lunar New Year and the Year of the Tiger because this year is the Year of the Tiger, or the coming year. And I'm really excited for you to see it, so let's just get into it. So if you've seen a lot of my recent bullet journal themes, you've been seeing that I've been going really all out in my bullet journal and just doing very complex themes, and they've been taking me a really long time, which is hard because of school, and that has made me upload things a lot later than they should be uploaded. But today I'm going to upload this video in a more reasonable time, and I think this theme is more realistic for me and more reasonable, so I'm really happy with that because it was really fun to make and not too overwhelming. So the first thing I did is I traced out a tiger, and I found some inspiration, like some photo inspo online of like a tiger that was like standing this way, and this is because it is the Year of the Tiger this year, which for Lunar New Year, and so I thought it'd be fun to do a tiger theme. This theme is still something that I'm proud of, and I think it looks really cool, but it's less complex and was less overwhelming to make, and a lot more time, took less time. So yeah, basically I've been using these two shorter pieces of washi tape to make sure that I don't go over the borders and over the boundaries. So I'm using actually coffee, which if you've seen this past November, I did a coffee and a tea bullet journal theme, and I thought I'd bring back this medium of coffee again because it's basically just like watercolor, except it's just like coffee and it smells good. It's just like a fun thing to use. I was considering getting some Tombow dual brush pens to do this with, but actually just using instant coffee is actually a lot simpler because I just put some warm water in it, stirred it around with the instant coffee in it, and it basically just made paint for me. So it was really easy and simple. I would just say you have to keep in mind to be less, don't put too much. You have to be a little cautious to make sure it doesn't bleed through. Although it didn't bleed through very much at all in this bullet journal theme, it is just something you have to be conscious about, of the fact that it could bleed through the other side. So just making sure you don't put too much water, which I think I did last time, or if you put too much water, then it may bleed through. So yeah, for this bullet journal theme, since I am doing Lunar New Year, or like Chinese New Year, I decided to add some Mandarin in it. So it says yeah, which means second month or February, and I'm actually taking Mandarin in school, so I just thought it would be fun to be able to use my Mandarin in my bullet journal. So yeah, if you guys want to learn any Mandarin, this is yeah, and it means second month, and the yeah actually also means moon, so yeah, moon or month. And then on the side I'm going to write 新年快乐, which means Happy New Year, because it is Lunar New Year. And I've just been using my fine liners, which are the Pigma Micron in the 03 size. This is a pretty good size. It's not too large or too small. And then I'm just using a pencil right here, and I'm drawing some plants around the tiger because I thought it'd be nice to have like plants coming out of the tiger, because without that it kind of just looked like there was just a tiger on the page, and it looked a little bit boring in my opinion, and I wanted to tie in the entire page a little bit more together. I was considering adding some tiger stripes all around the backdrop, like just with the fine liner, but I ended up feeling like I didn't really want to do that, and I just wanted to add some leaves around it and make it look kind of like feel more like the page is like there's more of the pages being included in it. Yeah, and I actually think this washi tape looks so good with the theme and the coffee. It's like it just looks so like cohesive with it. And also the backdrop, I'm going to talk a little bit about the things in the background, I guess. So on the top left is actually something my mom made. I was doing this, what's it called, like stamp class with her, and you basically carve it out of linoleum, and then she made a bamboo pattern and we were putting it on cloth. And I found this cloth and I actually just really liked it, and I thought it fit the theme pretty well of like, because it kind of fits the Lunar New Year theme and just bamboo in general. I just thought it looked really pretty, and I just used the general corkboard, which I've actually been using behind my bullet journal for a little bit now because I have a table underneath, but it makes it a little bit bigger, and then I had to add fabric on top, and it's also nice because I can just put push pins in it and stuff like that. So that's pretty nice. And on the bottom right there is a little like statue. I got this when I was really little. I had it in a fish tank for a bit, and then we took it out because it kind of hurt the fish because it was very sharp. But yeah, I have it and then it broke, so now that's just a piece of it. But yeah, the marker that I'm using right now is the Arteza Iconic 0.4, and this is the color A178, and it matched the coffee pretty well. So I've been just using those colors, and I like how it goes with just like this tan color and the black. It makes it look very cohesive and just have a nice warm feeling throughout it. And I feel like it subtly ties in the Lunar New Year theme with using a tiger, because I was thinking about doing this theme a while, and I really wanted to do a tiger theme and a Lunar New Year theme, and I was thinking of using very bright reds and golds, and that's a very pretty, like very iconic, and like what Lunar New Year is known to have, like reds and golds. But I didn't really want to do that because last year I actually did a very red and dark theme, and I find that I don't really like using them as much because I don't know, I don't really like the dark colors. I would rather have it like brighter and more pastel. So I feel like using coffee made it a little bit lighter and brighter, so I kind of like that more personally. But I did add some red in here and you'll see it. So yeah, so now I'm just writing the characters for 新年快乐. So yeah, and it just means Happy New Year. And this is in Mandarin simplified characters, so if you're using traditional or Cantonese or any other dialect, this would be different, but this is for Mandarin. And I just basically wrote it with my Pigma Micron. I always call it the wrong thing. Sorry about that. And then I just kind of outlined it to make it look like the lines were thicker. I did the same thing with the Aria or February. So that kind of made it look more, make it pop more. And I really like how just using the black and the tan colors look together. I think it looks really pretty. And I actually did this all in one sitting. Well, okay, I did it in like 2 sittings, but in one day. And I haven't done this for a very long time because my bullet journaling has been very complicated and been using a lot of like paints and different things that made it take more time, which I did use like a kind of paint in this one too, but it ended up not making it take like forever, I guess. I kind of managed my time better and just like thought, okay, let's make it not too complicated and just make it a more simplified theme. But something else I wanted to do in this theme, which you'll see in the calendar page, is I wanted to include dim sum, because I originally, like I said, wanted to do a very bright red theme, and I was going to make it so the tiger's face was very big and red and gold, and there was going to be like tiger stripes throughout it, which I did do tiger stripes throughout it. But then after that I thought, oh whoa, such a cool theme would be dim sum and doing like a basket weave and things like that, because I don't know, I love dim sum. It's very yummy. And I also thought it'd be cool to have some baozi or like baos or buns in it, so because I really like those too because they're so delicious. So yeah, just a lot of like different things in this theme. but like that relate to, I guess, Chinese culture and stuff like that. So yeah, I just used the tape to outline all the edges, and then I just drew a tiger stripe in it. And now I'm going on to my calendar. So once again, I am using my Pigma Micron 03 to make the calendar and outline all the edges. And I just really like how this theme was so simple. I feel like I keep saying this, but this theme is like pretty simple and more minimalist, and just looks very aesthetically pleasing in my opinion, very cohesive through using the coffee throughout it, and also the tape also adds some cohesiveness because it matches the theme so well. So yeah, I just outlined all of it, and then I am going in and I am writing Qing Qi Ri, which means Sunday, Qing Qi Yi, Qing Qi Er, Qing Qi San, Qing Qi Si, Qing Qi Wu, and Qing Qi Liu, which all mean the days of the week. So it's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I almost forgot Saturday. Yeah, and now I'm just peeling off the tape over there so I can use it over here to make another tiger pattern. So I just used this tiger stripes throughout it, which I thought looked pretty cool because it had just a nice pattern, and it was like pretty simple and easy to draw with the paintbrush. And I was actually spilled a little bit, but I feel like something that I said when I was trying out coffee, which you guys should check out that video. It was very fun testing out coffee and tea in my bullet journal and just like trying it out in general. Something I found with coffee and using it is that it is very like forgiving looking. So if you spill it, I feel like it looks kind of prettier because it makes it look imperfect, which since it's such a natural like thing, since it's like a more of a natural pigment, it makes it look kind of like okay, but it just looks pretty because it's natural looking, and it spilled, it just looks like, oh, it was like a happy accident or whatever. So I'm just adding the aria over here too, and I also numbered all the calendars in Mandarin so you can kind of see that. But of course you could do all of this in English if you wanted to. I just thought it'd be fun to do it in Mandarin because I'm taking Mandarin, and it's just fun because it's like Lunar New Year or Chinese New Year, so I thought it'd be nice to include some Mandarin in it. And now I am just going to do a basket weave on the bottom there. It was actually so fun. It was more time consuming, and I really wanted to get this up before February, but it's February 1st now, so hopefully it's going to come out on February 1st, which is a lot better time management than I had done before. So pretty proud of myself for that, although I'm going to try and keep working on getting my bullet journaling to be more time effective in general. But this basket weave was more time consuming, but so much fun to make, and it was just kind of like therapeutic to make these. So yeah, I'm just kind of like, you do stripes and then you make it so there's like two thin stripes and then a thick strip. Thin, thick, thin, thick, if that makes sense. And then you just kind of use that to make like arcs that kind of represent the weave of the pattern, and this kind of to represent how dim sum, it's like a little basket there. So I wanted to make it so there's a basket incorporated in it. Although I didn't incorporate it as much as I could have, I still think that I incorporated it in a pretty good way of like including dim sum as well as tigers in it. Although I feel like this theme is mainly like tiger stripes and only like a little bit of dim sum. But I basically then used my Pigma Micron to draw out the lines, starting with the little arcs, and then after I did all of that, I went in and I just went and completed them if they were like when they went down. So kind of just being like, you can kind of see how it works, but kind of just being like conscious of like where the line is supposed to go and where it isn't supposed to go, and how to connect it so that it works the best. And you can kind of see how it worked. So now I'm like bringing it down, and it kind of makes it look more like a basket weave rather than just a bunch of arcs. So you can kind of see how it worked. And then I also used the coffee on top of that, which just made it look more like dark and just look more kind of like dim sum because the baskets are like pigmented, I guess, usually. So yeah, just doing that, and then I'm going to use the paintbrush and just do all of the vertical parts of the weave. So I just searched up how to draw a basket weave and kind of did it off of that, but I made my basket a lot thinner, like all of the weaves are a lot thinner than they did. So yeah, just painting there, and then afterwards painting the entire like horizontal weave part, so painting all of that. And then in the end, I decided that I wanted to make all the insides where it would be inside of the basket like black. I'm not sure if that was the best thing to do. I did it though. I think that it looked cool. I'm just finishing the numbers that were under the washi tape right now, but I ended up doing that. I'm not sure if you guys like it, but I think it looks okay. I feel like after I started doing it, I was like, well, what can I do now? I kind of committed. I have to just do all of them. I think it does look cool though. It makes it seem like more like there's a basket inside, because it's not just like flat of just like if something's drawn on it, but there's like it's darker inside the basket. Hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully you guys like how it looks with the basket and the drawn inside. Actually, looking at it now in the recording, I think it looks better with the darker parts. And then I just peeled away the washi tape. I do find that coffee ends up sometimes putting pigment or like putting coffee underneath the washi tape sometimes. And I'm not sure if that's just like occasionally or if it's something with the coffee. But I guess just be more conscious when you're doing it of making sure that, or I just feel like coffee looks fine if it bleeds anyways. And then I just drew a little dim sum. This isn't the best thing I've ever drawn. Definitely could do some improvement, but I feel like it looks okay. Looks standard, I guess. I would make it better, but yeah, I just kind of went for it and made a little dim sum on the side because I wanted to include the bows. But yeah, I think I could have done a better job of including the bows throughout the entire theme rather than just like occasionally, and dim sum in general too. But now on to my habits tracker. So these are all of my habits that I want to keep and I'm going to be tracking. So now that I actually did it in the beginning of the month, I can actually do this. So I'm flipping back to the calendar so that I can check what shape the calendar is, because I do one dot grid per day and I can just track how well I do different habits. For example, flossing. So I actually alternated it using the Arteza Inconic 0.4 in the color A178 and the Pigma Micron. I alternated which one I used because I thought it'd be nice just to use different ones because it kind of adds the like whole tan and black throughout the theme there. And then, oh, my cat, you can see him there with the treats. His paws are so adorable. He kind of matches the theme because he's black and white. Oh. So now I'm just adding tiger stripes to the bottom of the habit tracker. I didn't really have to do that. I just didn't really have anything to put there, and I thought it would look pretty, so I just included that there. And I'm just erasing all of the lines. I drew little boxes to make sure that my habit tracker was evenly spaced and stuff like that, which is something that I used to do so much, but I haven't done more recently as much. But I would like to get back into doing more simple spreads like how I used to, while also using the things that I've learned through bullet journaling this past year to make my bullet journal themes even better, while also making them more simple. Because my bullet journaling has changed so much, and also just like gotten a lot more complicated in recent months, which is great for how they look sometimes, but also not great for how much time it takes to make them. So yeah, I just put a brain dump. I just put a little coffee in the background and just put brain dump on top. I think it looked surprisingly good for how simple it was to make that brain dump. I think that looks very aesthetically pleasing like that, and I just used fake calligraphy. And now I'm making my weekly spread, which if you've seen my past bullet journal themes for a little bit, I'm doing the same weekly spread I've done for like forever now. of a rolling weekly where I just do a little box in the middle, and I'm just going to write them days of the week as I go throughout, and just use a little tissue to wipe off the excess coffee. And this helps it not bleed through, so if you ever feel like it's going to bleed through, just use some tissue and dab on it, but try not to spread coffee too much. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. So yeah, this is my final flip through, and it was so fun to make, and I think it turned out really nice for how simple it is, and just for how easy, and I just really enjoyed making this, and I think it looks so pretty. Well, thank you so much. Bye. Thank you so much for watching this entire video through. It really helps my channel and helps my channel grow when you guys like and consider subscribing. So thank you so much. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and I love reading all of your nice comments. Happy Lunar New Year.